Welcome to episode 2. I'm Blades, and I've got coffee. Nice coffee. So, what have we got down here? Episode 2, let's program some buttons. Well, that's going to be interesting. Oh dear, I have no idea. So, let's explore. Let's explore some buttons. Main window, here we go. There it is. Everything's here. Yeah, we've got buttons. What I didn't say or show last episode was edit. If you look just below welcome on the left hand side, we've got our switch to edit mode. And it comes up with all of this, which is our main window.ui in what it says on line 1, XML version 1 encoding UTF-8. That's XML. That's right. It's not Java. Think about that. Just a joke. So if I switch mode, it comes back. Yeah. Let's talk about this screen a little bit, because I'm about to blunder my way through trying to program, let's say, the menu button first, because it doesn't do anything yet. What have we got? Let's go back to the welcome screen and press help. Actually, I'm not sure. Will it just go to it? Yeah, it'll just go to it from here. That was me looking at exit, so that's no good. And let's have a look. Go back to the main manual page, please, because I was looking around at things. I have to remember what I'm doing. Qt Creator Manual. This is the place to be. We are exploring. So I know that that is a widget-based application. As I said, widgets. What are widgets? I mentioned them in the last episode, but they are supposed to be a graphical container. A container for graphics, but you can use them for anything, a container for anything. Here we go. Developing widget-based applications. It shows the screen that we've been on in their normal colours. And then, for more information about Qt Designer, see the manual. What? Yeah, this has a full manual. I don't know what all of this lot is down here. Adding widgets. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, there's a bit of information there. So, manual. And yes, there goes my Firefox. Qt Designer Manual. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. You have a quick start. Editing modes, widgets, signals, buddies, tabs, blah, 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 and a lot of information. Would I advise reading it? Yes. Read it. Don't do, well, I've got memories of using this system. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do have memories at least to rely on. To start off with, I actually relied on this. I had to read it. And I think I've remembered enough to be able to do something, I hope. But as you can see, there are full manuals available. Oh! And there's also, of course, examples and tutorials. How to run them. Blah-de-blah. XML and Qt quick graphics. Widgets. Model view. Oh, right, I didn't know about that. Main window examples, layout examples, style sheets. Those are interesting. Style sheets. Yeah, we can have style sheets. I'm not going to read this now. Wow, yeah, there's quite a lot in there. It's tons. Explore it. Read. Spend time reading. Saves time programming. Trust me, and we haven't even done any yet. That is nice coffee. Yeah, as you noticed, I've avoided doing any programming, and I've done that on purpose because this is exploring C++ and Qt. So let's get back into our designer. Here we go. Menu button. What options do we have? We can change the text, object name. Oh, interesting. I think we've already done that. Morph into. Oh, we can change it to something else, right? Tooltips. What's this hover over type? What's this information clicky thingy? Change style sheet. No, don't know about that. Size, layout. Yeah, promote. Oh, promote sounds fun. Go to slot. What? Let's go to slot. This is something I certainly haven't talked about. Let's try clicking on that. The abstract is just clicked. Pressed, released, toggled, clicked. Yeah, okay. And it brings me into my program. And we now have void main window on button menu clicked. But what I am not showing you here is the other bit. Headers, main window. We now have a slot. And this brings me to the biggest thing about Qt. Qt has signals and slots. Are you going to explain that one, Blades? I'm not. I'm really not going to try. I'm going to show you exactly what it is by doing it a little bit. So, yeah, let's get the rest of these buttons going, shall we? Go back to menu. I want to do this one next. Exit. Go to slot. Clicked. OK. So menu, exit. See, it's filling up our... I'm still not doing any programming, am I? Oh god, let's do test on the left next. Promote, no, go to slot. There we go. OK. Another one has appeared. Yeah, and if we look in the header file, yeah, all these slots are appearing. It's good, isn't it? Look, I'm a programmer. Hey Ma, I'm a programmer. No, I'm just clicking on things and saying go to slot. Clicked. Yeah, okay. And that's the last one. So I'm only doing the 4 buttons at the moment. That will be expanded later. Save you. Let's see, what shall we do here? Yeah, we're going to actually do a bit of programming here, aren't we? Oh dear. Header file, yeah, we'll save you. I want all of this lot. I will be talking about slots a little bit more, but not directly. The big one is that one there, QObject. That's where it all comes from. So that's the biggie. I want to talk about that more than I want to talk about slots and signals and things, which are going on in the background. If you were wondering, signals and slots is exactly what this where is it? Application A, yeah, A exec. So Q application F1. Yeah, brings up this. Press F1. It tells you exactly what you can do with it. It tells you any functions like events and stuff that are done in there. But detailed description. Q application class manages the GUI application's control flow and main settings. So that's what it's doing, and that's what QObject is about. That's in there as well. So it's managing that top right hand corner, a little symbol to say get rid of. You can press F1 on anything, see if it comes up with anything. So main window. Now, exit. Tab, QUIT. Open close, semicolon. Use of undeclared identifier quit. There you go, doesn't have one. So what we have to do is put exit 0. semicolon. If it doesn't have quit, it's got exit. Function on button clicked could be declared with attribute no. Could be declared with attribute no return. Really? Okay. So let's go back to the declaration. This is definitions, by the way. CPP files are definitions. Declarations, so declared with attribute no return, is in the header file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to exit clicked, and just before the semicolon I'm going to put no return. Expected semicolon at the end of declaration list. What? Oh, right, you don't use it like that then. How do you use it? I don't know. No return. Search. Your search did not come up with anything. Okay. So if that doesn't come up with anything, we can go back to save that. CPP file. Save that. What are you on about? Remember, I know nothing about C++. You've got to remember that I'm doing this as an exploration. So, yeah. Get help online. There you go. There we go. Let's just click on the first one and see what it says. Attribute no return. Blah, blah, blah. We got an answer. Okay, no return mean that the function never end, and the segmentation fouled is because bar is not available. Foo bar, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Clang is correct, even if a little pedantic. Yeah, well, we're not using Clang, but we're using Qt, and it is very pedantic. Indeed, the attribute no return is applicable to your foo function, since it doesn't return anything. The fact that Clang of 2016 gets confused with the slight variation in the enumeration, that is a problem. But we should forgive Clang. Well, we're not using Clang actually, I'm using GCC here. This isn't C++. Ah, yes. It's not what could very simple. Well, great. But what do I do about it? Do I switch the warning off? Ah, right, okay. I understand. It's because we are exiting whilst in the middle of one of our own functions, which it doesn't like. So that's a bad idea. That's what it's saying to us. That's what the compiler is saying to us. What we've done is a bad idea. It means that there's no return from this point, which is not good, because in main we are in here at line 7 and we need to get to line 10. Yeah, we need to get there because we need to execute the whole program, and we could hit that exit before we execute. It doesn't know. The program or the compiler doesn't actually know whether we will get to line 10 or not, because it's got this sudden yikes. So what we could do here is we need a variable. So this is our introduction to variable types, I suppose. What we're going to do is, oh no, we don't want that. Close. No, I want the header file, please. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a variable. I'll pop it in here somewhere. We'll pop it here. It's going to be a bool, and what I'm going to call it is M, because it's a member variable. Then I'm going to use the underscore, and then I'm going to say is capital R running, and that's it. There we go. We've now got a bool variable that says is running. We need to set that variable at startup, and we will set that with this explicit. And I haven't even told you what explicit means yet, have I? That's C++. That is definitely needed in this case. Well done, Qt. You don't see it often, do you? I don't know why they haven't put no exception at the end, but that's probably because people put things in it. Now, C++, we're exploring it, so let's get rid of this issues thing because we haven't got one anymore. C++ is divided into sections. You can have things at the top, things in the class, which goes, and each one is wrapped around by these brackets. These brackets are the most important thing in C++, remember that. Brackets. So this isn't actually in a namespace itself, class, but there is a namespace of UI going on for what's happening in there, which is very hard to explain in English. That's forward declarations. Yeah, forward declaration that we're going to be using the UI user interface. That's all that's doing, that's forward declaration there. This is the actual class, that's the private parties at the top. Classes are always private unless you put public in. Private again, obviously there, private again. Just wondering why it's made those private and not protected. Because there's public, protected and private. Public means anybody can access them. Protected means that any associated class can access them as well as public. And private means only this class can access them. So bool is M is running, is private, only this class can access that variable. That variable is private to this class. So let's go and set it somehow. Now that's alright actually, that's not too bad this one. Let's see now. Oh god, can I just reorder this? Because this is a nightmare to read. That goes up there for me. So that comma's correct, and now I want to put M underscore. This is where you declare all your variables, or all the variables that are going to be used within your class. You should, when you, I'll tell you why in a second, sorry, I'll do it. M is running, comes up, click, open brackets, false. I'm going to start it off as false. Right, so how does this work? This line is where this is, oh, they have put something in it. This is the constructor. This matches up with this line here, explicit one. Explicit you can take out, doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but normally we wouldn't have explicit there. We would just have something like that. What does this say? It says that we are going to have our class main window. We are going to construct it with a widget, a container, parent equals nothing. So it is the de facto container. Okay? It doesn't have a parent. It's not attached to anything. It is not a child of the operating system or of this screen here. It is independent. It is its own entity. There we go. So it's got a parent of 0. That means 0. Oh, it just says null pointer t. Follow the symbol under cursor. Where's it go to? Nowhere. Okay. Find usage. No. Don't do anything like that. Don't go silly on those. Right, so this is our constructor, and below it we have our destructor, and that first character there, I'll just control plus. Yeah, come on, zoom more. Zoom more. There we go. That's a title mark before main window. That means destroy. Destroy. It's shorthand for destructor. That means that this happens when this is destroyed by the system. It will run whatever is in that to clean up the system and free the resources back to the system. So that takes resources from the system, that gives them back. That's a good way of looking at it, actually. So constructor, destructor. Everything else below these two lines are functions, except for that, which is a variable. Why have they put it there? Okay. Take you out. I want you. I'll cut you. And I will put you up here. You can go up here, can't you? There you go. I don't like things like that. This private slots, yes, that has to go there. But having the extra private at the bottom for variables, I like my variables at the top. I like to see what variables I'm using before I get into what the heck's going on down here, so I can read through. That's a bit better for me. Yep. Control. Bump. Bada boom. Yeah, we'll leave it 160 for now. So there's the basics of it. The reason why we put public and then constructor destructor is so that we can access the constructor, so we can construct it in main. There we construct it as W. W then has a function called show. Where did he get that from? Yeah, and then of course we're going into this Q application loop, as it were, for the program. Where did he get w.show from? That's an interesting one. It got it from Q main window here. Press F1. Q main window class. How did it get it from there? This is our class. It's called main window. So how's it got it from here? So if I go down here, we've not got show here anywhere. Probably not. Set blah 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 statics. This shows you how the main window framework happens. Central main window components with the widget, as we were looking at before in that designer. Creating menus. This is how to do it manually without using the designer. So this is how to do it in code without actually using the designer. So you can if you want. Let's go back up. I can't see the doobry. So public title, signals. There you go, signals and slots. Yep, they're in there. Included qt plus equals widgets. No, we haven't got that. We've got GUI. Is this out of date? No, it's not. I think that includes widgets. I hope it does. I know we've got core. We usually have core. That gives us everything else. But GUI? Okay, and it says you're supposed to put widgets in. You can type widgets in there. That's what QMake. That's our profile. Qt plus equals. Qt plus equals. Well, allows us to use it. So it comes under GUI's widgets. There you go. I've learnt something. GUI covers widgets. Wow. So doc operation. What it should say? Public functions. Here we go. That's a constructor. That's a destructor. So QWidget parent equals null pointer, as we've already seen. Here. QWidget star parent equals null pointer. We can have a comma, and then we can use window flags equals, so that can be expanded. What window flags there are, I haven't a clue. No idea, never used it. There'll be something in here for it, which I'm not really bothered about. I'm not going to be exploring that today. I want to explore these buttons. So we're going to program them. Is running. We've got is running is false so far. Ooh. So what do we do if is running is false? Well, we really haven't got any kind of loop going or anything like that. So how are we going to use it? If exit is clicked, we're going to put m underscore is running equals false. Are we using this at the moment? No, we're not using it. It never gets turned to true, so this is useless. So we need a way of turning this to true. We need some kind of start or go or something, because I don't like this being in here, because that could have an error, and there's no error checking going on in this function. So I don't like the constructor being able to give an error. Okay, I haven't talked too much about QWindow yet and why there's this colon here, and it's also here as well, isn't it? Yep. It's there as well. That colon means that main window is allowed to use the functions that are public, it says public here, in Q main window. That makes main window a superclass, because it's not just a class, it's a class that uses another class. In C++, it's called inheritance. And if you look up the subject of C++ inheritance, inheritance, basic inheritance, C++, learn C++, here we go. Basic inheritance. So it'll go through it here. A child class inherits both behaviors, member functions and properties, member variables from the parent. So in this case, Q main window is the parent and main window is the child. If I'm doing this right, yeah. Subject to some access restrictions, in this case public. We can see it on screen. That we'll cover in a future yeah, right, okay. These variables and functions become members of the derived class. What that really means is members of the whole thing, main window. So we can now call main window and use all of Q main window's functions that are public. Possibly protected as well, I'm not sure about that. Because child classes are full-fledged classes, they can, of course, have their own members or functions. I wish we couldn't call them members. Functions that are specific to the class. They can also extend virtual, and that's where virtual classes come in. They can extend virtual functions as well. but we'll come to that when we need to. So we've now got the ability to detect whether that exit button has been pressed. Right, so let's put a new START. We'll start here. Okay. Void start, maybe? It's telling us we've got errors. Let's put the issues up so you can see them. C++ requires a specifier for all declarations. This is a declaration. We need to specify that it's void. There we go. It's happy now. Well, are you going to tell us anything else about this? No. Alright. Doesn't do that anymore, does it? Does it not give us a bulb anymore? This is interesting. Once upon a time, this used to give us a bulb. Okay. Void main window start. It's okay. We'll put that in there. We'll just pop that in there. Make sure everything's saved out. Should put something. I'm hoping it puts it here. Make the cursor go there. Go back. I'm hoping it does this by itself. Maybe not. Toggle comment auto refactor. Ah, here we go. Refactor. Add definition to main window.cpp. Yes, please. There we go. It's typed it in for me. And in start, we are going to put m underscore is running equals to true. There we go. And here we're going to do while true. I'm just going to go into the loop for now. While true. So whilst the expression inside the brackets is true, which is forever. Again, it's coming up with this function of no return. If so, it doesn't like it already. Okay. M is running, which is the correct way of doing this. Alright, so while we're doing running, we shall carry on. We won't be doing much. So if no, put it outside for now. If m underscore, oh gosh, get me typing right. M underscore is running is equal to false, and exit. Let's see if you can work out that logic. No matching function call to exit. What? That's right, there isn't. You have to put a number in there, that's why. We'll put 0. There you go. Go away now, thank you. That's legal. As you can see, it was warning us all the way along that what I was typing was wrong. In C++, what I was typing, it was starting to warn us all the time that you're gonna cause yourself a headache later on. That's what warnings mean. Warnings mean don't do it. Do it a different way and don't cause yourself a headache trying to debug later. So that now should work, that combination. I have to mark that as empty to make sure I know that I left it as empty. Now we can transfer that to here. Now I can mark that as empty, which it should be. Thank you. Sorry, I'm modifying their code that they gave us, but I don't like anything in that bracket, because if there is something in that bracket and it doesn't work or it causes an error, it means that it won't construct and the error checking will just fall apart, and trying to find your error will be very, very hard, because the only place where I can have errors right now is in start. Yep, can't really have an error there. These are all, sorry, got to mark them empty. They don't do anything, these buttons at the moment, but I can click them. There we go. Just pop these all in. Always, always leave notes. In fact, the more notes you leave, the better. So I've got an exit. Yeah, that's okay there. Let's see if this will crash. Crash me out. Don't know. So what I've done so far is I've set a variable to say true. And while it is true, we're going to spin around this loop here called a while loop, which is C++, by the way. Not Qt, because it hasn't got a Q at the beginning. That's usually how you can spot Qt, that you have the Qs on them, Qs. If you want to know what QMain window can do, you click on it and press F1, and you can go through all of that lot. I'll show you how, actually, what can it do? Can we do anything else before I know, I'm going to test this first. Let's test it first. So let's run. What I'm looking for, though, is not the compile, but the application output. Let's grab a coffee. That's interesting. It's now not in the constructor. So we've broken our program. Why have we broken our program? Look, it's blank. It's just come up with this little diddy thing like that. So we'll close that. It comes out, it's quite happy. But we've broken it. We've got no user interface here. So that means that line there, we know for a fact it was there. We moved it here and we broke our program. Oh. How do you debug that? Well, you could put a little red dot there and run the debugger to see whether that line, and stop at that line to find out what's happening with this. This, literally. This is main window star. There you go. That's what it actually tells you what it is in here. It's great. We're not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the reason why straight away. Well, we've just made a new function. But have we used it? We haven't used it. All we've done is we've written a function. Now, the compiler knows the function is there. Look, see? Compiler knows. It's somewhere in that lot. It knows that that function is there. It's compiled it within 4 seconds, quite fast. But we haven't used it. As the programmer, we haven't actually used it. So if we haven't used it, and that's how we get our user interface, we're not going to get our user interface, are we? So let's go back to main and fix that. So w.show, let's split this up properly. main window is our program. Look, main window.h. That's in the wrong place. Sorry. I'm doing alterations as I go along. That should be below. Angle brackets and inverted commas. I'll tell you why in a second. What we have to do here is take the show, between show and W. Why W? What do we call it? Main window. Why not MW then? There we go. Main window. That's better. I'm going to alter all of this. Haha. This is why I don't normally do it this way. So MW. If we now put a dot, we can use start and semicolon. There we go. We can now use our function. Click on run. Application output is flashing red. Dun, 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 dun. So it started, but we've got no graphics. Ah, I think I've clashed. This is one of the horrible things about inheritance. I think I've clashed. I don't think start is a very good word. So let's not do that. Let's change it, shall we? Public. So start main window. Let's not be lazy. Let's pop that in there. Go back to the CPP. Start main window. You got to be careful. Make sure that what you call things is not conflicting with what you're being given by something like that. Start is an obvious one. End is another obvious one. Don't use those as function names. Use function names that mean things or do what they say, but properly. Don't be lazy on that one. That was me being lazy. So in main.cpp now, I should be able to go main window dot start main window semicolon. Now I know it's running my function because show isn't my function. That's actually part of something else. Queue, the queue window part. And let's try building that. Let's have a look at the compiler. Clean it off, please. Compile. Zoom. Here we go, 4 seconds, not bad. Let's go to application output. Stop whatever's happening there, clean it all off. Crashed, yeah, I know it did. And we're crashing. I know why. But we're going to crash. And we're going to crash every single time now. Damn it. Reason is me. Done it again, Anna. Can't do that. I can't put that there. That is now hidden within the function start main window. But if you go to our UI, it's not there. Yeah, it's not QMain window dot start QMain window. Open brackets, close brackets. It's main window. If we have a look at the code here, it says here class main window class. Look, it doesn't have start main window anywhere in here. So we can't do that. We can't move it. They've tied our hands on that one. So cut, paste. We're just going to have to put up with it. Does that return anything? No, it doesn't. So there's no error return. if there is an error, it will be caught by the system and put into the system error log. So it will come out on application here, like this has done, this system report here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Now let's run it. We know we're not messing things up now. I hope. Or is it because we've now got a while loop and it never gets to the application? We can't do it this way, can we? Signals and slots. Okay. I'm just going to try one more thing with the build. Clean all. Okay. Build. Build all. Little thing in the... Here we go. Yeah, that's gone green. Run. It crashes. It's that while loop. That while loop. Nope, not a good idea. Not putting it there. Okay, I can't do that. What I can do is, if running is, I can leave running as false. Not put that there. Don't make it true for now, because I'll want that later. What I'm going to do is that. Oh no, I'm not. Cut. Paste. Now I know it's false, but the computer doesn't. So that stops the warning. I'm cheating. I don't believe this, I'm cheating already. This is how good I am at programming, I cheat. Run. Let's see what the application output says. There you go. Exit button. Works. Run. Menu button. Test button. Clear button does nothing, but the exit button works. So I've now cheated. So that's bad programming, I would suggest, but actually it isn't. That is correct in C. C++, that's how it should be. You should be checking the status of things before trying to exit. As you can see, we are exiting with the code 0, and there is no difference between clicking that button, I'll prove it, and clicking that button there. You get exactly the same message, and you can check it. There you go. You can check that they're both the same. So clicking the exit button is the same as clicking the top right hand button. How come? And there is the beauty of Qt. It's all hidden behind the scenes with something called QObject, which is being used in the background to send out signals which are received by slots, and it's talking with our executing Q application, or a Q application that is executing. And that's how it works. That's how Qt works. I don't know what's going to happen when I do this. What time are we on? We're on 49 now. Have I gone far enough? Have we learnt enough? Did I mention that these brackets are so important? It's unbelievable. I mean, I could try and emphasize that these brackets are really, really important. I've talked about inheritance. that means we get public. I don't know what happens if we try for a protected. F1. Have we got any protecteds? Public properties, public signals. So we can put slots in for any signals that it sends out. So if it's got signals, icon size changed, whatever, button style changed, I don't care about that. 3 signals included from QWidget, and of course 2 signals from QObject. Let's go and have a look at that QObject, shall we? This is not QObject. Well, signals destroyed. Yeah, you can actually check. So you could actually have a slot which is called void on destroyed, and it will pick up on these signals and use the slot. You can pick up the signals then. The QObject itself is a class, and it comes from the core. It is the core of Qt, and you can see it's inherited by an awful lot. And I mean an awful lot. Sorry about the doorbell. Oh dear. Now, it doesn't give it us here. That's a shame. Does it give us what? That isn't QObject. See, that's QObject, the class. As in that kind of thing now, in green. This isn't. This is something different. So this isn't this. Okay. Let's click on QObject itself, press F1. Here we go. It's fun time. There's QObject. It's a macro, which means it's like one of these hash defines macros. But how can you put it? And it must appear in the private section of a class definition that declares its own signals and slots. Signals and slots. Oh, so that enables us to use signals and slots. That means I could actually send out signals from here. I could have a button here that when it was clicked could then relay on to a signal to send to another slot somewhere else. Run a completely different program. Yeah, think about that one. That's pretty powerful. Uses other services provided by Qt's meta object system. Wow. So, see also meta object system, signals and slots, Qt properties system. Oh, ho hum. Are we into funland here? Let's open this up more. Oh yeah, we're into funland here, alright. Signals, slots. We've encountered now slots, haven't we? So let's read slots. There we are. Q slot. It's a macro here. Q slots groups. Blah 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 blah. Keyword specifies. Oh yeah, that's used in declarations. Sorry. Alright, revision. These are all the different macros that we've got. Yeah, we've got QObject. Let's go to the meta object system. Qt's meta object system provides a signals and slots mechanism for inter-object communication, runtime type information, and the dynamic property system. Dynamic means as you go, on the fly, by the seat of your pants. Yes, we can do things on the fly. Just using this. And it's pretty complicated, you would think, but actually it isn't. They've made it look complicated, honestly. Right, I said it was a macro, so let's prove it is. Let me just put that back to half screen before I close it. What happens if I hover over it? QObject. It says to press F1 for more information, but I don't want that. Follow symbol under the cursor. Here we go. Hash define QObject. This is a macro. It's 175 macro starts here. Remember, the backslash means same line, but, you know, go to the next line, but we're continuing across, if you know what I mean. Backslash just splits it up so we can see things on different lines. So every time there's a backslash, it continues. There we go. That's QObject. Yeah, QObject, fake QObject. Annotate class. Oh, there we go into the metadata. That's what QObject is. Look at it. It starts up all the metadata stuff. There's even a warning in there if things go wrong. So it's actually got an error system inside it as well. So it does signals, it does slots, it sends information between objects, we'll call them, because that's what it says, QObject, between objects. Our window is an object, it's a widget, a Q widget, which means we can now communicate between everything. And due to the fact that we've got visitors right now, I will have to close at that. Sorry to say. But I hope you enjoyed it, and just remember, those brackets mean a lot. Those brackets may be what we look at next. I'm not going any further into QObjects or signals and slots at this point in time. But you've just seen how we've connected quite happily. Well, done one line of programming now, but we have got that, which I didn't really need, but it's there. Yeah, save that. I will now close out. So, catch you in the next episode. You people take care, and above all, explore, have fun.